You know, I was thinking of the simulation of learning. I was like, you know what? That's what craves my mind to learn words from a dictionary. Happy day, hard drive.
Turn the fuck up.
Every day you Have you ever had an experience where, like, you know, sometimes you're beside yourself, you're like, you know, looking at your, realizing people, in their ways, their tendencies, their securities, being, granted that everything is eclectic. Any hoodles. To never, single yourself out yet. And you must learn to, single self out, and all these things and stuff and such, that you don't realize you're cussing, and you try not to cuss, or you realize that maybe you've been drinking too much. There are some artists that can only create art whenever they're under the influence, and I find it fascinating to realize that our general experience shared creates, such a, shall I not mention wholesome to the understandings of lifestyle and community and, and hobby and tendency and, favoritism, and I could imagine if you had siblings and somehow there was, if you were the one receiving any sort of like favoritism in school. Now in school, all the kids were versed in asking for things, I was very independent at a young age from my peers. I had a boyfriend that was older than me. I had 2 jobs. I was working 3 shifts. I was working at Papa John's 2nd shift, and then I was working Denny's 1st and 3rd shift. And to sometimes realize that those times, times in life, sometimes you are determined and you tell yourself, I'm never going to work that hard again in my life. And, to understand and have consideration for those that are workhorses. Do they realize they're workhorses? For those that are workaholics, you know, you can't be, you can't say that someone's a bad parent if they're, you know, their natural state of being is a workaholic. I would imagine during COVID, you know, there was the boost in genres of physics and reality and chemistry, anatomy. So, I wasn't going to mention religion. You know, often those that dream to understand the importance of, you know, shared realities, you know, to note that that's understood fun, you know, shared realities, understood fun and things and stuff and such. You know, whenever it's your duty, you know, to have fun because you have created your version of fun, and it's being sporadic. It's not necessarily, you know, finding it important to mention, you know, the first thing that candy for kids. I remember I was shy to ask, and to think that, oh, you know, am I gonna let a whole, you know, era of culture, you know, just fly right over my head? You know, these are the questions we must ask ourselves, you know, without asking ourselves, you know. To recognize perfection and to be somewhat obsessed with perfection. You know, first you must somehow realize manifested perfection. Do I think life is a study? I never originally had, you know, had asked myself that question before, or, you know, realize, you know, how deep the rabbit hole is with certain unstiggity rhetorics. You know, I would imagine in some certain stances they would view that as, you know, reasons to be proud, and sometimes we don't realize where we uphold degeneracy, and, you know, sometimes we just view ourselves as degenerates. Do we not know how to not treat ourselves as degenerates just because, you know, our choices, you know, not necessarily being mapped out is just a recognition of future challenge would be to realize, sometimes you know what you want in life, you don't know how to work for or towards what you want, and that's a conversation, that I would imagine being, present within the minds of those that, dare to imagine. With all the different dinner talks. Dinner talks is, in my mind, to converse with y'all, to be myself, to think about at least 10 important things or things that are important to me. And is that a secret? Should that be a secret? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Before, totally being the person with a kick me sign on their back. And, should that be, in manuscript just for the knowers? All very good questions today. Welcome to the Vibe Tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe, and things and stuff and such. Sometimes you just do not question the, the internet, in in forums. We should talk about it. Normally I was streaming from 3:30, to, a healthy time. Lineage, good option. Oh gosh, and to think, of the responsibility of dauntedness, you never think that dauntedness is a responsibility, unless you consider the reality of people that are not necessarily in what is it, tandem with your circumstances, with being in love with the fact that circumstances, just because, can be polite when realizing the talk on the streets, the composition of, things that people think about whenever they look at a person, or, they, and all the could be questions that people ask, and the could be questions are, they're silenced by the perfection of certain unrealized perfections, if you're good at typing in the chat, you never ask, you never question, oh, what's a chat? Or, you don't question to yourself the genre of people that would, you know, make it their knowledge. And, normally you don't be overly honest, or I don't even, I haven't naturally processed what overly honest, you know. Whenever you're trying to figure out the content of who you are in, comparison to things and stuff and such, there's so many ways to view your I wouldn't I wouldn't label it as success, to view your knowing and how you handle, sometimes you automatically act in ways that would be, saboteur. And I'm not sure if that's just a natural human response to something, they say, oh, it's too good to be true, so they just brush it off to the side, Because in Fight Club, I would think that there were, bouncers, bouncers in the club, and maybe the bouncers are freaking referees, second job referee. First, you must perfect your niche, and in the meanwhile, not judging yourself and not feeling as though you're overwhelming yourself, Judged by overwhelmed or overwhelmed by judged. And then to pause for a moment and be proud of things and stuff and such. What does it mean though? That is not the original question that I would ask myself. History is something that we create, and sometimes whenever you want to have an end to certain history, or history certainly, I would imagine there's just so much HTML. Yeah, exactly. Not to overwhelm yourself. Because you can overwhelm yourself in a way that you judge yourself, that, within the silence of your mind. Most people don't speak because they're, super judgy of how they're how they are to manipulate situations sometimes, or how people are going to, there's so many things to think about. Then, to realize that success, can be a secret. Secret succession. Some of the best memories are whenever people are talking about whole eras, of their life. And to, to outlive an era, whether there's, whether it's having to do with religiousness, which is things that we engage in on a daily basis, and all the things that are adorable, can't be too polite, that's why they have those mirror balls, so you can, realize if someone's, following you in the store. Technically, it's, to see, to see around corners and stuff. There was this invention for short people that it's a rectangular box, and with mirrors you can see over the crowd. Actually quite handy being a little kid at the parades back in New York. Acting as if it's our first time chatting. Whoa, copy word is still censored. And to realize, whenever I'm not reading into the, what's being typed in the chat, it seems that way. Depends on how much I've reviewed myself and the autonomousness of airplane transport. The thrillingness of simplicity. Imagine there could be reflection.
Turn the fuck
I
up.
didn't realize that I know you. How cool is that? What do you mean? I don't know you. I'm leaving. Wouldn't it be cool if time was guaranteed? Well, everyone in those Jenny beats, had to expand the horizons of the freak that I am. Yeah. Freak of nature, yeah. Wait, that's a platypus. No, not asking. To create a hybrid of, is it deltoids? I'm not even curious as to know what muscle is. You ever realize see your reflection and you scare yourself, you're like, oh, and there's a beautiful girl right there that's, saying words and things. And to think how, not necessarily following of religious text because, within the life of a female being finite to be, bound towards statistics. The statistically likeliness, or the statistic likelihood of being a product of your environment plays not even 1%, I would imagine, as to the ability of personality, to feel cloudy, to really be blazing. To be blazing and, on the esque of cloudiness. Never would have doubted my skill. Then you would realize maybe certain moderation is like there's no way that mix is only listened to 800 times. And to think of the importance of perspective. And the irony sometimes of my I don't know, it wouldn't be rants. Some people are natural to who they are, that, they're not much of the person to talk about stuff. Mostly people keep to themselves and provide you the opportunity to talk about yourself. And things and stuff and such. I didn't turn on translator in the chat. Do you think those those intelligent, autonomous, self-driving Waymos would have have an opinion about the attire of there's knowing, there's believing, and believing, that's, compositedly, composed of all the, all of your, what is that, exponents. Exponents are experiences, had, first person experiences, to zoom out sometimes. I would imagine, it's real fun. They have Google World. It's amazing, the technology and the contrast. Yeah, there's so many reasons to be proud. Have you been a good friend today? Were you considerate of a cloudy day experience? Maybe it requires you knowing that you could burn on freaking cloudy days. Dance is an art form. That's nice. And twerking and humping hair. Thank you so much. Hopefully that made someone's day better. Saw a girl twerking. And then, your forums, to stay true to the nature of who you are and not, be overwhelmed by the eclecticness that could be, existent in the world. from all that we know and study. $5.23. It is kind of a late night study. Harami. And to master the art of acceptance. If you can master the realization that love doesn't necessarily have to be all that things and stuff and such, that it's sometimes made to be. To ever realize an exception to the rule, there must be a generous, grateful attitude. Sometimes, you are proud of yourself because you don't have expectations. Oh, it's been 3 days and she hasn't streamed same time that she normally has, and things and stuff and such. Sasro essay. Glad she. Assalamu alaikum. Haji. Haji. Is that cool? The fact that I was interested in learning a new language. Whenever you record your child saying the F word incessantly, they don't realize, things and stuff instead of, probably discipline them later on in life. Jeesh. Never would have the discipline. Grew up without discipline. Anti-disciplinarians. Yeah, how about all of us anti-disciplinarians, meet up and, and have conjoined streams. And then we can all be speaking the same language, figured some comments would be, you're not ever taught who to follow in life. I think it's hardwired into who you are. only a certain version, genre of chant. For those that live off the highway. Because, let's be real, it's 2025. And there are a lot of sober individuals in 2025. It is a cool thing to be sober and square as day. I'm kidding.
Where you get that little bag from?
Are you supposed to always say thank you?
Where you get that little? Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, bag from, bag from. Get that little. Get that.
Never crossed my mind.
Where you get that little bag? Where you get that?
You know, I've realized the importance of
Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Bag from,
without,
baby. Bag from, bag from.
worrying about all the things and stuff and stuff.
Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from, bag from. Where you get that little bag from? Bag from, baby. Bag from, bag from. Where you get that little?
you don't want to change who you are, though. You can accept your circumstances. So I was drinking multiple beers a night, and recently I had a few beers and I threw up. I'm not sure if that's speaking to my tolerance, the medicine that I'm on, practicing, having those regularly. Trust the process. There's someone half days. It seems like half days. I'm not anti-religion. What's religious anyway? Probably a word that I mentioned and did not realize. And I'm going to say this. There's a status quo. I raise my hand for the experience of, Saba sold us out. Thank God for aloe. I didn't turn on the translator. Wrapped up in, rap battles and stuff. Sometimes I write to freestyle. Sometimes I write poetry. Sometimes I spit military. I'm good at street at least. Say something good about me. Oh, that wasn't a requirement, not at all. Hi, Valerie Collins. I feel also very I didn't know you were allowed to have favorites. Kyle, wasn't kind of scary. Hello, Chet Chet. I'm 5'7" and not expecting everyone to all speak at once, The wrong emoji. Where's the lifestyle emoji? Needs more lifestyle emoji. Stiggity. Murdiu para. Is that how you would sound that out? Seems uncouth. It's alright. It's allowed to have opinions. Welcome. BRB. Have you heard the top of the street? Part 2. open-minded. And that made me crave a honey bun. I'm here to stop your speech. I'm here to enhance your speech. Here, learn my way in the chat how to be a real douchebag. I'm just kidding. Because women must have their babies and stuff. Because when having babies, they still babies.
I like to party, party. I like to go out. I like to party, party. I like to get wild. I like to party, party. I like to go out. I like to party, party. I like to get wild. I like to party, party. I like to go. I like to go. I like to go. I like to go. I like to go.
So I've been writing in my journal here.
I like to go. I like to go. I like to go.
Awareness is only half of our entitlement. Gaining new skills of awareness surrounding future success is a perspective. It's a state of mind. The free state of mind is questions of the knowledge of questions. We react. Nostalgia is a natural state of being. To note. So note having all perspectives. Awareness of habit. Perspective is not daunting to most. Masters are similar in things that lifestyle is a habit. Hobby to certain perspective individuals. Not because of expertise, just more of a chance that you say the right thing without realizing it. most days just kind of freestyle. Play it back here. From what I've gathered. Also, nuh-uh. Word bola. Yeah, we should have our days that we play word versus word. Do I believe in one though? I believe in I remember from a perspective, there's certain perfection, you never ask, all the professions that must come into play. Be still and, be above average. Based on individuals on.
You can say all kind of shit.
You can say
all kind of shit.
This shit. You can say Kind of shit. You. You can say
I think music changes our perspective. These some baboos going on now. Is that where the banana joke comes from? Responsibility. Yeah, responsibly not being a jerk every day. You know, to think of how many people's feelings I would have to consider in that is just quite, you know, complex.
What I think you should do.
You were born into Disney World, you know, that's, what is that, privilege, oblivious thinking pattern. Don't let me smell no privilege now.
What I
Those privileged live on farms. They speak not how to fertilize all that soil. Did you know that cotton uses the soil so it creates clay? Clay Aiken? Or are we playing ghosts? And I turn around and tickle you while you try to teach me how to Dougie, teach me how to Dougie. You know, Amy obviously could be Dougieing right now, but she's choosing to tame herself to the experience of Cha-Cha. Is that all I'm good for? You know, that's what I heard on the street. Hoja. You out there being a hoe, you know, referencing Ja, booted from Himalayas. Grab it. Yeah, we're not supposed to speak of certain things on Sabbath. I looked up the audacity of the commission earlier. target anyone midnight meeting at witches and devils. Witches versus devils. As if I care about his or her. His, her time. What's up, all good? Hi again. To be a blessing. In the sky. I smoked a cigarette in the house. And somehow, feel bad about it. Get scared. I'd rather not be stuck in the past. Constantly shifting the topic anyway. There's many perspectives to these games. Even though I already have my rhythm, I don't have to convince myself of that. Talking about finishing before. Somehow, I understand that many people also relate to the language of their orders left and right. See. Must be, to realize angles and symmetry. it on your personal perspective. I haven't turned on the translator. Did you know that narcissism is a bill for people. As long as narcissism follows on Instagram, fucked up spidey attention. Death is not a topic of battle. I apologize to those that have been, my 3:30 to 2000 the hour, which, I was being responsible. Go ahead, be afraid. That's responsible, irresponsible. Believes in defense. Believes in defense. specifically gonna give you your email. Yeah, fine, okay. Of course, make a big deal. Can't get no sleep cause y'all, your English is weak too.
I'm on my wits end
My
now.
English is
Everything's falling down. How could you be that way? I wanna let you know I don't wanna feel like that. I've nothing left to say. This is where I'm at. If you wanna stay, you know it's you. You know what you have to do. What you have to do. And I don't wanna say what I have to do. I've had enough of you. This is nothing new. If you wanna stay.
What a grand idea.
Maybe I hit that wall from taking this for so long. Too tired to repeat myself, but I will let you know. Didn't want it to be like that. I've said all that I can say. Now this is where I'm at. If you wanna stay, you know it's you. You know what you have to do. What you have to do. And I don't wanna say what I have to do. I've had enough of you. This is nothing new. If you wanna stay. If you wanna stay, you know it's
I
you.
would deeply like you.
You know what you have to do.
I was gonna make
What
some
you have to do. And I don't wanna say what I have to do. But I've had enough of you. This is nothing new.
would be me holding a lighter. You know, whenever everyone's vibing, and they pull out their phone lines and that's what I like. Think about all the people that you love. Because you have fun in creating a better life. What if you already have a better life? You have to love life. Good. We respect stamina. To allow low. You are not dripping flat. Individual cool stuff? Oh wait, be right back. Nah. There's a 4 side. I'm ready to eat forever. break the cup into two. And everybody gotta be back for more. Studying. Be sure to be happy, be healthy, be feeding, be alive, and stay tuned. Be sure to comment, follow, like, share.
And